My name is Chloe, 34 years old, and for 7 long years of marriage to Ethan, I have lived in the shadows, an outsider in the very family that should have embraced me. Last summer, as the sun dipped below the horizon at their annual barbecue, I clung to a fragile hope that this time, everything would change. Little did Ethan know, his sister Lauren was weaving a web of intentions that would change everything. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over the picnic table, I felt a surge of anticipation. With bated breath, I attempted to unveil the secrets of my graphic design work, hoping to capture their attention amidst the laughter and chatter that surrounded us. With a sly smirk, Lauren cut through the tension, her interruption hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. What if, in the blink of an eye, you vanished from existence? The world would carry on, oblivious to your absence, as if you were nothing more than a whisper lost in the wind. Would anyone even pause to search for you, or would your silence echo in the void, unacknowledged and forgotten? The table erupted in a cacophony of laughter, a sound that echoed like thunder, shaking the very air around them, as if the walls themselves were complicit in the unfolding chaos. Even Ethan, the one who seemed invincible, now stood on the precipice of uncertainty. With the sizzling hot dog in hand, I met her gaze, a spark igniting between us. Challenge accepted, I declared, the weight of the moment hanging thick in the air. As darkness enveloped the world outside, I made my escape, slipping away into the shadows of the night. If this tale has already ensnared your senses, I implore you to leave a comment revealing your location in this vast world as you immerse yourself in its depths. Smash that like button and subscribe, for the tale of my return a year later is one you won't want to miss. It was during the tumultuous final year at university that Ethan and I crossed paths, a fateful encounter that would forever alter the course of our lives. In the dim light of the coffee shop, I juggled my dreams of graphic design with the relentless grind of part-time work, each shift a step closer to the tuition that loomed like a shadow over my aspirations. He was on the brink of completing his business degree, a journey paved by the unwavering support of his parents, but shadows loomed over his future. It was a fateful encounter, shrouded in the shadows of the night. He entered, a figure cloaked in mystery, drawn to the flickering light of my late-night study session. Our eyes met, and the air crackled with unspoken tension as we began to discuss the book that lay open before me, its pages whispering secrets only we could hear. Our romance unfolded like a tempest, fierce and unpredictable, leaving us breathless in its wake. In the span of just 3 fleeting months, an unbreakable bond forged in the fires of fate drew us together, entwining our lives in a way that felt both exhilarating and perilous. As the final moments of graduation approached, he knelt before me, presenting a ring that shimmered with a brilliance that eclipsed my entire student debt, a symbol of love intertwined with the weight of expectation. As the vows echoed in the air, I believed I was stepping into a realm of unity, not merely as a partner, but as a member of a new family, bound by love and fate. Little did I know, shadows lurked just beyond the light of that joyous day. The Coldwells embodied a world my family could never grasp, a stark contrast that loomed over us like a shadow, whispering secrets of a life just out of reach. Wealthy, intertwined, and bound by an unbreakable bond, they navigate their world with an intensity that leaves no room for the faint of heart. In the shadows of ambition, David, Ethan's father, forged a marketing empire from nothing, battling the odds and defying expectations at every turn. Victoria, his mother, orchestrated their social calendar with an iron grip, her every move calculated and precise, all while navigating the treacherous waters of 3 charity boards. Lauren, his sister, stepped into the shadow of their father's legacy, a mere 27 years old yet already a junior executive at his company, where ambition and rivalry brewed beneath the surface. David, the audacious younger brother, defied every expectation as the family's wild card, yet fate twisted in his favor, granting him a coveted position at Henry's prestigious investment firm. My own background stood in stark contrast, a world apart, shrouded in shadows and secrets. In the shadows of a relentless world, I was molded by the unwavering strength of a single mother, toiling away at 2 grueling jobs. Each day, I learned the harsh truths of survival, the weight of $1, and the fierce dignity that comes from laboring against the odds. In the dim light of our childhood room, my sister Emily and I wove countless secrets and dreams, bound together by the whispers of the night, until the day came when I stepped into the unknown, leaving behind the only sanctuary we had ever known. Holidays whispered of secretive exchanges, where homemade gifts concealed untold stories, and potluck dinners with neighbors became a stage for unspoken rivalries and hidden desires. As I crossed the threshold of the Coldwell sprawling colonial home, an unsettling sensation washed over me, as if I had unwittingly entered a scene from a gripping film, where shadows lurked and secrets whispered in the corners. Class differences lingered in the shadows, their presence undeniable yet elusive, weaving a tension that simmered just beneath the surface. Victoria would praise my intricate designs with a casual air, as if they were mere pastimes rather than the lifeblood of my career. As the candlelight flickered, casting shadows on the walls, David leaned in, his voice low and conspiratorial. He began to unravel the intricacies of basic business concepts, oblivious to the storm of experience that brewed within me. I had navigated the tumultuous waters of my own freelance business for years, long before Ethan had entered my life. Yet here I sat, caught in a web of his words, the tension thick in the air, as if each explanation held the weight of a secret waiting to be unveiled. With a saccharine smile that masked her true intentions, Lauren would deftly correct my pronunciation of wine varieties and designer names, each correction laced with an undercurrent of tension that left me questioning my every word. "They mean well," Ethan would insist, his voice laced with an unsettling calm, every time I dared to mention the insidious microaggressions lurking in the shadows of our conversations. "Lauren is desperately striving to pull you into the fold, to weave you into the intricate tapestry of belonging. In the shadows of her heart, that is the way she reveals her love." Yet, Lauren's love seeped into my veins like a slow, insidious poison, each moment drawing me deeper into its treacherous embrace. At our wedding, she stood before the crowd, her voice trembling with anticipation, as she delivered a maid of honor speech that wove a tapestry of tales about Ethan's past loves, each story more revealing than the last, leaving the air thick with tension and unspoken secrets. As the words slipped from our lips, declaring our intention to purchase our first home, a shadow of doubt flickered across her face. "Is this neighborhood truly worthy of a Coldwell?" she challenged, her voice laced with uncertainty, as if the very essence of our future hung in the balance. As I stood there, the weight of the moment pressing down on me, she voiced a chilling thought that hung in the air like a storm cloud. Had they chosen me for my skills, or was it merely the shadow of Ethan's influential family that cast its dark veil over my success? In the face of overwhelming odds, I summoned every ounce of courage and determination. I tried, against all reason, to forge ahead. Oh, how fiercely I battled against the tides of fate. In a moment of courage, I stepped forward to lend my hand to Victoria's charity events, unaware of the whirlwind of emotions and challenges that awaited me. In a calculated move, I sent clients into the enigmatic world of David's firm, where secrets lingered in the shadows and fortunes hung in the balance. In the shadows of my mind, I meticulously recalled each birthday, the weight of anticipation heavy in the air as I prepared to unveil my carefully chosen gifts, each one a token of affection wrapped in the thrill of surprise. I chuckled at their hidden jests, even as they pierced my heart with their sharp edges. In the shadow of family gatherings, I transformed my appearance, cloaked myself in their language, and buried my working-class pride deep within as the discussion spiraled into the realms of vacation homes and elite boarding schools. Each word felt like a dagger, each glance a reminder of the chasm that separated us. In the shadows of the bustling city, I toiled relentlessly, nurturing my fledgling freelance design business. Each day was a battle, as I painstakingly crafted a modest client list, inching toward the elusive recognition that flickered just beyond my grasp in the local scene. Then, like a bolt from the blue, Ethan was presented with a tantalizing opportunity that could catapult his division to new heights. But the price? A relentless journey into the unknown, where every mile could hold both promise and peril. In the silence that enveloped the room, an unspoken agreement hung heavy in the air, a foreboding certainty that I would sacrifice my ambitions, retreating into the shadows of my career to uphold the fragile facade of our domestic existence. My business, once thriving, now clung desperately to a handful of loyal clients, each one a flickering candle in the encroaching darkness. As the shadows closed in around me, my existence shrank to the fleeting moments with Ethan, each encounter tinged with the weight of his family's scrutinizing gaze, their judgment hanging heavy in the air like a storm about to break. Last spring, I faced the heart-wrenching loss of a life that had barely begun, a fragile dream extinguished at just 11 weeks. The physical agony was unbearable, yet the haunting shadows of emotional turmoil that followed were far more devastating. In the heart of Chicago, amidst the towering skyscrapers and the bustling streets, Ethan found himself drawn into a web of intrigue at the conference. Little did he know, the city held secrets that would change everything. He extended the invitation to return home, yet a flicker of relief danced across his face when I insisted I could handle it alone. Victoria dispatched a bouquet, each petal whispering secrets of uncertainty, accompanied by a note that read, "Perhaps it's for the best until you're more settled." The words hung in the air, heavy with unspoken tension, leaving a lingering question that danced on the edge of hope and despair. Lauren hinted at a shadow lurking behind the scenes, suggesting that the relentless pressure of keeping your small business afloat could very well be the unseen force at play. Only Emily dared to step into the shadows of my despair, her presence a flickering candle in the suffocating darkness. She arrived with a pot of homemade soup, a warm offering against the chill of my sorrow, and sat beside me through the haunting tear-soaked nights, her silent companionship a lifeline in the storm of my anguish. The chasm between her heartfelt compassion and my in-laws' chilling detachment shattered a core part of my being, leaving me teetering on the edge of an emotional abyss. Yet, I concealed it in the darkest depths. Yet another bitter pill to swallow, all in the name of preserving the fragile facade of family harmony. As the fateful day of the annual summer barbecue approached, I found myself a mere shadow of the person I once was, haunted by the echoes of my former self. My design work had transformed into a lifeless routine, each stroke of the pen echoing the monotony of a machine, devoid of passion and creativity. My friendships lay in ruins, their once vibrant connections now mere shadows of what they used to be. As the days slipped by, my marriage transformed into a haunting spectacle, each moment a carefully orchestrated act, concealing the turmoil brewing beneath the surface. Yet, amidst the shadows of despair, a flicker of hope clung to my heart, whispering that perhaps, just perhaps, the tides could turn. That I could, against all odds, finally grasp the elusive acceptance from the family I had bound myself to 7 long years ago. The Coldwell Summer Barbecue loomed large as a legendary gathering, a ritual steeped in tradition that bound the neighborhood together in a tapestry of anticipation and camaraderie. For weeks, Victoria toiled in the shadows, meticulously crafting a menu that would either dazzle or doom her grand event. Each dish was a carefully chosen weapon in her culinary arsenal, poised to strike at the heart of her guests' expectations. In a dimly lit room, David unveiled his secret trove of grilling gadgets, each one a tantalizing promise of culinary mastery. The air thickened with anticipation as he revealed the tools that could transform mere flames into a symphony of sizzling flavors. What mysteries lay within this collection? The stakes were high, and the thrill of the unknown hung palpably in the air. Amidst the whispers and furtive glances, a throng of family friends and business associates swarmed the meticulously manicured lawn, each step echoing with unspoken tension and hidden agendas. It was the moment when the facade of family status was laid bare, a revelation that would send shockwaves through the very fabric of their lives. And fortified. In a realm where allegiances were tested and shadows revealed the true faces of those who did not belong. And even after all those years spent entwined in the life of Ethan, I found myself forever cast as the outsider, lingering in the shadows of a world that would never fully embrace me. As dawn broke on the fateful day of the barbecue, I found myself ensnared in a whirlwind of flour and sugar, dedicating 3 painstaking hours to crafting my grandmother's legendary strawberry shortcake, a recipe steeped in family lore and whispered secrets. The singular dessert that had garnered heartfelt praise in years gone by, its reputation hanging in the balance, poised for a reckoning. Ethan was ensnared in a whirlwind of urgent calls, each ring echoing like a distant thunderclap, pulling him deeper into a web of uncertainty and tension. As the clock ticks down, he meticulously hones the final details for his imminent journey to Tokyo, a city shrouded in mystery and opportunity. Each decision weighs heavily, the air thick with anticipation and the promise of the unknown. As the clock ticked ominously, he propelled me toward the door, urgency etched across his face, a sense of impending doom hanging in the air. Haunted by the ticking clock, a battle rages within. The allure of arriving fashionably late whispers sweet temptations, yet the dread of true tardiness looms ominously. What fate awaits those who dare to tread this precarious line? Today is the day, a moment shrouded in anticipation, as Dad prepares to reveal his latest treasure, the imported smoker. What secrets will it hold? What flavors will emerge? The air is thick with expectation. As we sped down the winding road, his voice pierced the silence, a haunting reminder echoing in the depths of my mind. Feign awe, even if the significance eludes you, for the weight of the moment hangs heavy in the air. I nodded, my fingers tightening around the dessert carrier resting precariously on my lap, a silent promise of sweetness amidst the tension that hung in the air. The sundress, a carefully chosen garment, was meant to be a perfect match. Victoria's choice of attire whispers of a casual elegance that captivates the senses, leaving an air of intrigue in its wake. The tension coiled around my shoulders, a vice grip of unease that promised something was amiss. The Coldwell home thrummed with an electric energy as we stepped through the door, the air thick with anticipation and unspoken secrets. Caterers glided through the throngs of guests, their trays laden with tantalizing appetizers, each step a calculated move in the unfolding drama of the evening. David stood poised at the heart of the GI, a palpable tension crackling in the air around him. In the dim light of the evening, the patio buzzed with anticipation, a circle of eager friends drawn in by the magnetic allure of his new smoker. Each breath held, they watched as he unveiled the secrets of smoke and flavor, the air thick with suspense and the promise of culinary magic. Victoria drifted through the shadows of the clusters, each one a mysterious realm waiting to unveil its secrets. Her laugh echoed through the air, a haunting melody reminiscent of fragile crystal, shimmering with an allure that both captivated and unsettled. At last, Lauren's voice pierced the air, her gaze locking onto us as we slipped through the shadowy side gate. With a fleeting air kiss for Ethan, she turned her gaze upon me, her eyes scanning with an intensity that sent a shiver down my spine. "Chloe, that dress radiates an unsettling brightness, as if it holds secrets waiting to be uncovered." The kitchen swells with tension, a cacophony of clattering dishes and hushed whispers. Yet, amidst the chaos, I know there's a hidden corner where you can stow away your offering. In a heartbeat, she whisked Ethan into the shadows, leaving me breathless and speechless, my mind racing with unanswered questions. With a swift motion, she intertwined her arm with his, her voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper as she began to recount the fateful encounter at his college, each word laced with intrigue and unspoken tension. In the shadows of the shared space, a presence loomed, an enigma wrapped in familiarity. The air thickened with unspoken tension, each creak of the floorboards echoing the weight of secrets untold. Who were they, really? What lay beneath the surface of casual conversations and fleeting glances? The walls seemed to whisper, urging the truth to unravel, as the clock ticked ominously, counting down to a revelation that could change everything. As I stood there, clutching the dessert like a lifeline, my eyes darted across the shadowy expanse of the backyard, searching desperately for a familiar figure amidst the encroaching darkness. I crept into the kitchen, where Victoria stood at the helm, her voice slicing through the air like a knife, commanding the catering staff with an iron grip and unwavering precision. "Oh, Chloe dear," she whispered, her eyes locking onto mine as I lingered in the shadows of the doorway. "Nothing was required of you, yet the weight of the unspoken loomed heavy in the air. The patisserie stands as the guardian of our desserts, shrouded in an air of mystery and anticipation." With a sweeping motion, she pointed toward the pantry, her eyes glinting with an unspoken urgency that hung thick in the air. Yet, how profoundly considerate. What if we just placed it there for the moment? A decision hanging in the balance, fraught with uncertainty and the weight of what could unfold next. I set my shortcake upon a shelf, a battleground of culinary offerings from guests whose creations paled in comparison, unworthy of sharing the spotlight with my masterpiece. As I stepped out of the kitchen, a hushed urgency filled the air. Victoria's voice, sharp and commanding, sliced through the tension as she directed a server to clear a space for Lauren's exquisite tiramisu, the centerpiece of the dessert table. The stakes were high, and the atmosphere crackled with anticipation. The next 2 hours unfolded like a shadowy dance, filled with forced smiles and conversations that flickered out before they could ignite, leaving an unsettling tension hanging in the air. Just as I began to engage in a conversation with one of Ethan's cousins, the air thickened with tension as Victoria swooped in, her presence commanding and urgent, whisking them away to meet someone of undeniable significance. I stepped forward, eager to lend a hand in setting up the buffet line, but was met with a firm refusal. The caterers, it seemed, had their own intricate system in place, one that I was not privy to. A shroud of mystery hung in the air, leaving me to wonder what secrets lay behind their carefully orchestrated plan. As I stepped into the lively discussion about the latest films, an invisible barrier closed around me. Words danced on the lips of others, but I found myself trapped in silence, desperate to break free yet unable to find my voice amidst the cacophony. In a chilling twist of fate, David's wife Nicole found herself ensnared in a web of stark contrasts, receiving a treatment that was worlds apart from what she had anticipated, all despite her mere 2 years of marriage into the family. With a flourish that commanded attention, Victoria unveiled her to the crowd, her voice resonating with pride as she declared, "Behold our Nicole, the pediatric surgeon." The air thickened with anticipation, as whispers of admiration rippled through the gathering, each gaze drawn to the enigmatic figure standing at the center of it all. Lauren wove her into the fabric of cherished memories, recounting family vacations that echoed with laughter and joy, yet she knew deep down that she had never set foot in those sun-drenched places. The weight of unshared experiences hung heavy in the air, a haunting reminder of what could never be hers. In a rare twist of fate, David, a man known for his aloofness towards family ties, found himself drawn into the web of intrigue surrounding her work, probing with questions that hinted at a deeper curiosity than anyone could have anticipated. The stark contrast loomed before me, an unsettling irony that pierced the air. Nicole, caught in the spotlight, radiated discomfort, mirroring my own unease in the shadows of neglect. As the clock struck noon, Ethan emerged from the shadows, his presence a stark contrast to the tension that had enveloped the morning. He had been entangled in whispered discussions with his father's business associates, secrets hanging in the air like a storm waiting to break. "Are you truly reveling in the moment?" he demanded, his voice a low whisper that sent shivers down my spine, not pausing for a response as he steered me toward the opulent buffet line, a world of temptation and secrets waiting to be unveiled. With anticipation coursing through our veins, we piled our plates high and approached the main table on the patio, where shadows danced and secrets whispered in the night air. I found myself wedged between Ethan's frail grandfather, Henry, whose ears strained to catch the whispers of the world around him, and an empty chair, a silent testament to Lauren's delay as she busied herself in the shadows of the buffet. Ethan sat across from me, his eyes locked onto David, the air thick with unspoken tension as they delved into the intricate world of Japanese business etiquette. The weight of their discussion hung heavily, each word a potential turning point, a revelation waiting to unfold. Lauren burst onto the scene, her meticulously arranged plate clutched in her hands like a trophy, drawing every eye in the room. With a voice that dripped with intrigue, she launched into a tale of a celebrity sighting at her gym, leaving her audience hanging on her every word, eager for the next twist in her story. With a piercing gaze, Nicole posed questions that hung in the air like a storm cloud, each one charged with an intensity that demanded answers. The tension was palpable, as if the very fabric of the room held its breath, waiting for the truth to unfold. Victoria's heart swelled with an overwhelming surge of pride, a radiant light flickering in her eyes as she stood on the precipice of a moment that could change everything. Even Henry leaned in, straining to catch every whispered word that hung in the air, thick with tension. In the midst of a tense silence, a fleeting moment of stillness revealed my chance. As I wrapped up the final touches on the branding project for the new bakery downtown, a sense of anticipation hung in the air, thick and electric. Their grand opening looms just a weekend away, a moment shrouded in anticipation and mystery. Lauren's eyes narrowed, a storm brewing within their depths. How utterly delightful! Could that be the infamous location marked by its garish neon sign, flickering ominously in the shadows? As I sped by yesterday, a chilling sensation washed over me, the shadows of the past lurking just beyond my vision. The signage, a haunting echo of a bygone era, I revealed carries with it the weight of nostalgia and mystery. The owners felt an overwhelming urge to pay tribute to the building's storied past, a legacy that whispered of its status as one of the very first. Shadows of history loomed large, compelling them to preserve its essence against the relentless march of time. "If you vanished into thin air tomorrow," Lauren interjected, her voice dripping with drama, "what would the world do without you? Not a soul would even catch a glimpse." The weight of this conversation hangs heavy in the air, a suffocating silence that threatens to swallow us whole. The table burst into a cacophony of laughter, each sound echoing like thunder in the stillness of the room, a moment charged with an electric energy that hinted at secrets untold. Victoria stifled a giggle, her eyes darting around the room, a secret bubbling just beneath the surface, as she clutched her napkin like a lifeline. David's laughter erupted, a thunderous sound that echoed through the silence, shattering the tension in the air. Even Ethan let out a low chuckle, his hand trembling slightly as it reached for the cold, beckoning beer, the tension in the air thickening around him. Henry, oblivious to the whispered words that hung in the air like a dark cloud, stepped forward, his instincts guiding him into the fray. "Tata!" The sound enveloped me, a chilling wave that jolted through my very core. A chilling paradox enveloped me. I was both a glaring beacon in the shadows and a ghost lost in the crowd, unseen yet acutely aware of every piercing gaze that lingered just a heartbeat too long. My face ignited with a searing heat, while my hands succumbed to an icy grip, a chilling contrast that sent shivers down my spine. In that fleeting instant, the weight of 7 long years of buried grievances surged forth, coalescing into an undeniable truth that pierced through the shadows of doubt. Not a single tear fell. I did not flee the scene in a fit of rage. In the shadows of that moment, I refrained from unleashing a tempest that could be forever etched in the annals of my unraveling psyche. With a defiant glint in my eye, I lifted my hot dog high, a mock toast to the tension that crackled in the air. Locking eyes with Lauren, I spoke with unwavering resolve, challenge accepted. A tense, bewildering hush enveloped the table, as if the very air held its breath, waiting for the storm to break. Lauren's smile wavered, a flicker of uncertainty crossing her face. Ethan's gaze darted between us, a palpable tension crackling in the air. He could feel the change, a dark undercurrent swirling around us, yet the source eluded him, leaving an unsettling mystery hanging in the silence. Then, with a voice that sliced through the tension, Victoria exclaimed, "Who dares to witness David as he carves the brisket?" And then, in the blink of an eye, the moment slipped away, leaving only a haunting echo in its wake. As the afternoon stretched on, I found myself a silent witness, lurking in the shadows of the unfolding drama, my heart racing with the thrill of observation rather than engagement. I observed with bated breath as they glided effortlessly through their realm of unearned privilege and false belonging, each step a haunting reminder of the chasm that separated us. I observed Ethan, a master of disguise, effortlessly merging with his family, yet every so often, he cast me a fleeting smile that felt both distant and haunting. I meticulously recorded each slight, each deliberate exclusion, every agonizing moment when my voice was drowned out, lost in the cacophony of indifference. Most importantly, I heeded the hushed voice within me, a persistent whisper that had lingered for years, now rising to a deafening crescendo, declaring with undeniable clarity, "You deserve better than this." As we hastily collected our belongings, a chilling certainty gripped me, my choice was sealed, and the weight of it hung heavy in the air. The final enigma loomed large, casting a shadow over everything. How would it be brought to life? The drive home from the barbecue loomed ahead, an oppressive silence enveloping the car like a thick fog, each passing moment heavy with unspoken tension. Ethan's fingers danced nervously over his phone, each email a whisper of adventure, each snippet about his Tokyo trip a tantalizing glimpse into the unknown. He read aloud, his voice trembling with anticipation, as if the very words held secrets waiting to be uncovered. I gazed out the window, a storm of mental calculations swirling beneath my facade of tranquility. As we approached the driveway, a palpable tension hung in the air, and he finally turned to me, his eyes narrowing as he registered my unsettling silence. "Is everything truly all right? Ever since lunch, a shadow has loomed over you, casting doubt and unease in every moment that follows." Every word hung in the air, heavy with consequence, as I weighed my thoughts with the utmost caution. Lauren's chilling jest about my vanishing act hung in the air, a haunting reminder of the shadows lurking just beyond the light. "Did you truly find that amusing?" Ethan let out a heavy sigh, his fingers trembling as he unbuckled the seatbelt, the weight of the moment pressing down on him like a storm about to break. "Do not plunge into this chaos once more." In a world where shadows danced and secrets lurked, Lauren stood at the precipice of her own existence, unapologetically herself. The air crackled with tension, as if the very universe held its breath, waiting for her next move. What lay beneath her seemingly ordinary facade? Only time would reveal the depths of her true nature. You can feel the tension in the air as she arrives at the family gathering, her presence a storm waiting to unleash. The whispers begin, and everyone knows the inevitable showdown is just moments away. Your laughter echoed, and I spoke with a chilling calmness. "It was merely a jest, Chloe, a fleeting whisper of laughter in the shadows of uncertainty. Not every detail demands relentless scrutiny." He stepped out of the car, the door slamming shut behind him, a finality hanging in the air that silenced their words and left an unsettling tension in its wake. That night, as Ethan lay in a deep slumber beside me, an unsettling tension hung in the air. As I lay there, my gaze fixed on the ceiling, the shadows danced ominously above me, echoing the haunting memories of the day. Each moment replayed in my mind like a relentless film, unraveling the intricate tapestry of our marriage, revealing the hidden fractures that threatened to consume us. I couldn't shake the haunting memory of the bright, ambitious designer I once was when our paths first crossed. I recalled the fierce confidence with which I had navigated the treacherous waters of client relationships, the burning passion that had fueled my every endeavor, and the profound connections I had forged with friends, each moment a vivid flash of what once was. Somewhere along the treacherous path I tread, a sinister belief began to take root within me. The Coldwells, with their veiled whispers and piercing gazes, had woven a web of deception. I was led to think I was fortunate to be in their presence, that my very existence among them hinged precariously on my obedience, that my value was a mere reflection of their judgment. The air thickened with tension, and I could feel the weight of their scrutiny pressing down, a constant reminder of the fragile balance I danced upon. In the stillness of the night, I stealthily emerged from the confines of my bed, the clock striking 2 a.m., a time when shadows danced and secrets whispered in the dark. And stealthily made my way to the sanctuary of my home office. With a deep breath, I flipped open my laptop, the screen flickering to life like a portal to the unknown. My fingers hovered above the keys, poised for the unfolding journey of methodical research that lay ahead, each click echoing in the silence, a prelude to the secrets waiting to be uncovered. Whispers of bank accounts, shadowy apartment listings in the heart of Seattle where Emily once called home, and the tangled web of transportation options that could lead to her next move. As the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, a flicker of a plan ignited within me, raw and unrefined, yet pulsing with the promise of what was to come. Ethan slipped out the door, the morning sun casting long shadows as he departed for a golf game with David. His kiss, a fleeting whisper against my lips, felt distant and distracted, leaving an unsettling silence in his wake. As his car vanished into the distance, a surge of adrenaline coursed through me, igniting a fire within. I set my plan into motion, each step unfolding with an intensity that left no room for doubt. In the dim light of my room, I reached for the phone, my heart racing as I dialed Megan's number. She was my college roommate, a steadfast presence in a world that had grown increasingly dark and isolating. Would she answer? Would she still stand by me in this moment of desperation? Name it, she declared, her voice steady yet laced with an undercurrent of tension. The moment has come, I am leaving Ethan. On this fateful day. Will you come to my aid and assist me in gathering the vital necessities? Time is of the essence, and every moment counts. 2 hours later, Megan burst onto the scene, coffee in hand, packing supplies clutched tightly, and a fierce determination blazing in her eyes that hinted at the storm brewing within her. In the shadows of urgency, we toiled with relentless focus, dissecting the essence of my desires from the mere facades of the replaceable. Each decision hung in the balance, a pivotal moment that could alter everything. Amidst the chaos, it was the clothes, the personal documents, the irreplaceable mementos, and my precious design equipment that surged to the forefront of my mind, demanding my immediate attention. I can keep whatever doesn't fit. In your car at my place, Megan offered, her voice steady yet laced with an unspoken tension as she delicately wrapped a framed photo of my mother and me, the air thick with unvoiced emotions and the weight of memories hanging between us. As Megan meticulously sorted through the tangible remnants of our past, I found myself ensnared in the labyrinth of financial division, each decision heavy with consequence and fraught with tension. In a moment fraught with tension, I made the fateful decision to transfer precisely half of our joint savings into my personal account. Not a single penny more, even as the seductive allure of temptation loomed large, whispering sweet promises of freedom and escape. With a heavy heart, I submitted my portion of the monthly bills that loomed ominously over me, each payment a reminder of the relentless cycle that binds us all. In a moment of reckoning, I meticulously crafted a list, a lifeline of subscriptions and services, each one a tether to my past. The weight of decision loomed heavy as I prepared to sever ties or transfer allegiances, knowing that each choice could alter the course of my future. As the clock ticked toward mid-afternoon, my car stood ready, brimming with the very essence of my existence, each item a silent witness to the journey ahead. Megan enveloped me in a fierce embrace, her grip tightening as if to hold onto the moment forever, before she reluctantly stepped back and slipped into her own vehicle, leaving an unsettling silence in her wake. Reach out to me when the darkness wraps around you and the world outside fades away. And Chloe, I stand in awe of you. In the haunting silence of what was once our sanctuary, I poured my heart into a letter for Ethan, each word heavy with the weight of memories and unspoken truths. I chose my words carefully, the weight of them hanging in the air like a storm cloud. I declared my need for time apart, a desperate plea to confront the shadows lurking in the corners of our marriage. I fervently articulated my stance, asserting that I had seized only what was undeniably rightfully mine, all while having poured my efforts into settling the looming, insurmountable debts that threatened to engulf us. I pleaded for solitude, a void of silence, as I grappled with the tempest of my emotions. My destination remained a closely guarded secret, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. In a moment heavy with finality, I slipped off my wedding ring, the cool metal glinting ominously in the dim light. With trembling hands, I set it down atop the letter on the kitchen counter, a silent testament to a love now shrouded in shadows. Beside it, I placed a chilling account of Lauren's merciless jest, transcribed word for word, the date and location etched with cold precision. Just before I stepped into the unknown, I paused, granting myself a fleeting moment of sentimentality that hung heavy in the air, a bittersweet farewell to what once was. As my fingers brushed against the frame of our wedding photo resting on the hall table, a wave of memories surged through me, each one more haunting than the last. We appeared radiant, brimming with untold potential, yet beneath the surface, shadows loomed, waiting to unravel our bliss. Back then, Ethan's smile was a beacon, illuminating the depths of his eyes with an intensity that hinted at secrets untold. My own face glimmered with a hope and confidence that felt almost foreign, a flicker of light in the shadows of uncertainty. With a heavy heart, I murmured my farewell, carefully setting the frame back in its place. I stepped through the door, each footfall echoing in the silence, resolutely refusing to glance back at what I was leaving behind. The moment we left the familiar confines of our suburban neighborhood, a rush of fear and thrill coursed through my veins, igniting a fire of uncertainty and excitement within me. With every mile marker I passed, the grip of anxiety around my chest began to ease, but the shadows of uncertainty loomed ever closer. As I crossed the state line, a surge of liberation washed over me, as if I had finally emerged from the suffocating shadows that had haunted me for years. The air was thick with promise, and I could almost taste the freedom that lay ahead, tantalizingly close yet shrouded in uncertainty. That evening, I stepped into a nondescript hotel, the air thick with unspoken tension. With a trembling hand, I presented the credit card I had kept hidden, a secret thread woven through the fabric of our marriage. The room lay bare, a stark contrast to the opulence the Coldwells deemed essential, its simplicity cloaked in an unsettling cleanliness that whispered secrets of its own. With a heavy heart, I sent my final messages to Megan and Emily, assuring them of my safe arrival. Then, with a sense of foreboding, I powered down my phone, plunging myself into an unsettling silence. The clock ticked ominously as Ethan should have been home by now, only to discover the haunting emptiness of the closet and the weight of my letter lingering in the air. The thought lingered in the shadows, evoking neither satisfaction nor guilt, but instead wrapping the mind in a chilling numbness that threatened to consume everything in its path. In the hushed shadows of the hotel room, I nestled beneath strange blankets, surrendering to a slumber so profound it felt like a descent into the unknown, the deepest sleep I had experienced in months. As dawn broke, the air thick with anticipation, I flicked on my phone, unleashing a torrent of messages that surged forth like a tidal wave, each one a whisper of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Ethan's communications unfolded with a chilling precision, mirroring every dark anticipation I had harbored in the depths of my mind. First came the swirling fog of confusion, a disorienting haze that clouded the mind. It was swiftly followed by the sharp sting of irritation, a creeping discomfort that gnawed at the edges of patience. Then, like a dark shadow looming closer, concern settled in, heavy and foreboding. Finally, the tempest broke, anger erupted, fierce and unrelenting, ready to consume everything in its path. Where could you possibly be hiding? Reach out to me if you dare. This is utterly absurd. Return to the place where shadows linger, for a conversation awaits that could change everything. In the shadows of uncertainty, your mother's heart races with concern. At the very least, assure her that you are unharmed, that you still breathe in this perilous world. In the shadows you linger, a figure cloaked in uncertainty. The air thickens with tension, and the heartbeat of the moment quickens. What lies ahead is shrouded in mystery, and every breath feels like a prelude to the unknown. You are on the precipice of revelation, where the stakes are high and the outcome uncertain. The world around you holds its breath, waiting for your next move. In this moment, I find myself consumed by an overwhelming tide of self-interest, a force that pulls me deeper into the shadows of my own desires. The countdown has begun. Just 3 days stand between me and the electrifying adventure that awaits in Tokyo. Very well. Claim your territory. Our conversation will unfold upon my return, shrouded in the weight of anticipation. He never breathed a word of Lauren's joke, nor did he allow a hint of his laughter to escape into the air. He never once showed the slightest hint of comprehension regarding the turmoil that brewed within me. I dispatched a terse message to my mother, a lifeline of reassurance about my safety, yet shrouded in the urgent plea for solitude. With a heavy heart, I silenced my phone once more, the screen fading into darkness, and turned my attention to the laptop before me. The search for a place to call home in Seattle began, each click echoing with uncertainty and the weight of the unknown looming over me. The challenge loomed ahead, a dark specter waiting to be confronted. Now began the treacherous descent into the unknown, a battle not only to vanish from sight but to unravel the very essence of who I had become, shackled to the name of Ethan Coldwell's wife. The moment loomed before me, heavy with uncertainty. Would Lauren's words ring true, leaving my absence to fade into oblivion, or was there a chance, a flicker of hope, that I could forge a new existence, one where my presence would resonate, crafted entirely by my own design. The stakes had never felt higher. Seattle enveloped me in a relentless downpour for 3 days, each drop a haunting reminder, cleansing the remnants of my past life in a chilling embrace. In the heart of Emily's neighborhood, I stumbled upon a month-to-month furnished apartment, a tiny studio that whispered secrets through its bay windows and creaked ominously beneath my footsteps. After the sprawling suburban expanse, the compact space that Ethan and I had once shared loomed over us, a suffocating reminder of what was lost. Instead, it enveloped me like a tight cocoon, a sanctuary that both comforted and concealed, leaving me to wonder what lay beyond its warm embrace. The building loomed before us, unremarkable yet shrouded in an air of mystery. "I'm sorry," Emily whispered, her voice barely above a breath as we navigated the threshold with my meager possessions. "But the location is perfect, and the landlord? He's not one to pry." A chill ran down my spine, the weight of unspoken secrets hanging heavy in the air. "It's perfect," I whispered, my fingers gliding over the weathered yet steadfast kitchen counter, the air thick with unspoken tension. It belongs to me, and no one else can claim it." The first week slipped away, engulfed in a whirlwind of urgent preparations, each moment heavy with unspoken tension. In a quiet corner of the bustling city, I took a decisive step into the unknown, opening a new bank account at a local credit union. Little did I know, this seemingly mundane act would set off a chain of events that would change everything. In a calculated move, I orchestrated the mail forwarding through Megan, carefully avoiding any direct trace that could lead back to me. In a moment that felt electric, I acquired a new phone, its digits whispering secrets of a Seattle area code, hinting at untold stories waiting to unfold. In the shadows of the digital realm, I meticulously crafted new profiles on freelance design platforms, each detail a calculated move. With a steady hand, I pruned my portfolio, severing ties to the work that linked me to Ethan's elusive network, knowing that every choice could alter the course of my fate. The relentless stream of Ethan's messages surged forth, each one a tumultuous wave of emotion, shifting from fiery anger to desperate bargaining, as the tension thickened in the air. "Whatever shadows loom over us, we will navigate through the storm," he penned with a flicker of hope. "Return to the place where shadows linger and secrets whisper. Just come home." I held my tongue, not from malice, but from the desperate instinct to survive. Each time I contemplated a response, the echoes of laughter around that picnic table haunted me, a chilling reminder of the years spent in quiet decline, the slow, relentless erosion of who I once was. 2 weeks after my departure, Lauren unleashed a passive-aggressive storm on her Instagram story, leaving a trail of tension in its wake. In the shadows of our lives, where bonds are forged and secrets lie, the very essence of family pulses with an intensity that can ignite both love and betrayal. Each heartbeat echoes the weight of shared history, a tapestry woven with threads of joy and sorrow, binding us together in a dance of fate. What lurks beneath the surface, waiting to unravel? The truth is a double-edged sword, and in this intricate web, every choice could lead to salvation or ruin. The stakes have never been higher, and the clock is ticking. Will we emerge united, or will the ties that bind us become the chains that shatter us? The answer hangs in the balance, shrouded in uncertainty, as the drama unfolds. It is the very essence of existence. In the shadows of fate, the power to decide who remains and who departs slips through your fingers like sand. The weight of uncertainty looms, and the heart races with the chilling realization that some choices are beyond your grasp. The comments erupted like a storm, a cascade of heart emojis pouring in from the tangled web of Caldwell connections, each one a whisper of affection and intrigue, binding them together in a tapestry of emotion. With a voice laced in urgency, Ethan's mother reached out to mine, her words dripping with a dramatic flair as she sought to unearth hidden truths. With a trembling hand, David's wife, Nicole, composed a message that hung in the air like a fragile thread, uncertain and laden with unspoken fears. "Should you ever find yourself in need of a confidant, know that I stand ready, waiting in the shadows, eager to listen." I remained silent, a shadow lurking in the depths of my mind, refusing to acknowledge their desperate calls. Instead, I turned my gaze inward, determined to rise from the ashes and reconstruct what had been shattered. Megan stealthily dispatched the last of my possessions, each item concealed within unmarked boxes, shrouded in mystery and uncertainty. In a desperate search for solace, I discovered a therapist who delved into the intricate web of family dynamics and the haunting shadows of marital trauma. Each weekly session became a harrowing journey, leaving me emotionally spent yet, with each encounter, I felt the faint stirrings of strength rising within me. As the smoke from the barbecue curled into the air, Dr. Parker's voice cut through the tension in our third session, a chilling revelation hanging in the air. What Lauren said was not the reason for your departure. The weight of his words lingered, leaving an unsettling question that demanded to be unraveled. It was the spark that ignited the inferno. It was the final breaking point, and with a heavy heart, I found myself conceding. Tell me about the first straw, she urged, her voice laced with an intensity that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. That question unleashed a torrent of memories, each one a haunting echo of subtle jabs masquerading as well-meaning counsel, triumphs belittled, voices silenced. And there stood Ethan, not with malice, but ensnared in the web of his own silence, a silent witness to the unraveling truth. Farewell. As the clock ticks ominously into the second month, a palpable tension hangs in the air, thick with uncertainty and anticipation. In a world where uncertainty loomed, I had managed to capture the attention of 3 steadfast design clients through the vast and unpredictable realm of online platforms. The work, though lacking in creativity, was a relentless cycle of formatting ebooks and crafting social media templates. Yet, it held a dark allure, for it was the lifeline that kept the bills at bay. Yet, with each project I completed, a flicker of my professional confidence ignited anew, transforming doubt into a fierce resolve. On a tempestuous Tuesday, as rain lashed against the windows, I stepped into a dimly lit coffee shop, where my gaze was drawn to an arresting wall mural that seemed to pulse with life. The barista caught my gaze, a flicker of intrigue passing between us as I lingered on the object of my admiration. Isn't it breathtaking? As she meticulously crafted my latte, her voice dropped to a whisper, revealing the secret behind the masterpiece that adorned the wall. The owner had summoned a local artist to breathe life into it, a decision shrouded in mystery and intrigue. In a quest for transformation, she seeks a visionary to breathe new life into our menu boards and promotional materials, igniting a spark of creativity that could change everything. An hour later, I found myself seated across from Grace, the enigmatic owner in her 50s, her silver-streaked hair glinting under the dim light. Her straightforward manner was a breath of fresh air, cutting through the tension like a knife, leaving me both intrigued and on edge. I don't care about your resume, she declared, her voice cutting through the air like a knife, as she dismissed the portfolio I had painstakingly prepared on my tablet with a flick of her wrist. Reveal to me the depths of your soul, the creations that pour forth from you as if compelled by an unseen force, the very essence of your being laid bare in the art you cannot resist crafting. With a heart pounding in my chest, I hesitated, the weight of forgotten memories pressing down on me. Slowly, I steeled myself and ventured into a folder I had scarcely dared to open in years, its contents shrouded in mystery and the echoes of the past. These were the designs I had conjured from the depths of my imagination, each one a reflection of my innermost desires. Boldly uncharted, at times teetering on the edge of the absurd, yet undeniably a reflection of my very soul. Grace's gaze pierced through the stillness, her heart racing as she meticulously examined each detail, the tension in the air thickening with every calculated zoom. You've been hiding, she finally said, her sharp blue eyes piercing through the shadows, as if daring him to deny it. These are exceptional, truly exceptional, but are they recent? With a heavy heart, I confessed, no. It has been years since I last ventured into this realm of work, and the weight of anticipation hangs heavy in the air. Why not indeed? The question hung in the air, seemingly innocuous, yet it landed with the force of a thunderclap, reverberating through the very core of existence. As I spoke to Grace, the weight of my words hung heavy in the air, a haunting echo of the creative fire that once burned brightly within me. I recounted the tale of my passion, a vivid flame that had flickered and dimmed, slowly morphing into a shadow of the Coldwell aesthetic. Each syllable dripped with the bittersweet taste of surrender, the agonizing loss of my once vibrant artistic voice, now a mere whisper in the dark. Grace absorbed every word, her silence heavy with anticipation, before finally nodding once, a gesture laden with unspoken tension. You've been chosen for the menu project, but a shadow looms over this opportunity. There's a condition that could change everything. What is that ominous sound lurking in the shadows? Each week, you carve out a moment, a sacred space, to create something that is entirely yours, a personal masterpiece that emerges from the depths of your soul. Prepare yourself for our encounter. The moment will be charged with anticipation. It matters not to me whether it is polished or complete. Your journey to reclaim your voice stirs something deep within me, a flicker of hope amidst the shadows of uncertainty. Grace transcended the role of mere client, stepping into a shadowy realm where trust and betrayal danced dangerously close. She emerged as a formidable mentor, her presence a force that compelled me to confront my fears and seize my creative courage. With piercing honesty and surprising bursts of encouragement, she shattered my doubts, igniting a fire within me that I never knew existed. In her presence, a web of connections began to weave itself, drawing me into the lives of other local business owners, each one desperate for the design work that could change their fate. As the days passed, my calendar began to swell with projects that ignited a fire within me, drawing me in with their allure rather than draining my very essence. As the days dragged on, Ethan's attempts to reach out dwindled, each silence growing heavier with unspoken tension. The moment I filed the divorce papers through my lawyer, a storm of relentless calls erupted, each one ringing in my ears like a harbinger of chaos. I chose silence, refusing to answer, as the weight of my decision hung heavy in the air, thick with tension and uncertainty. At long last, the moment arrived when his attorney finally made contact with mine, setting the stage for an impending clash of wills. The proceedings advanced with a chilling precision, Ethan's initial defiance crumbling into a haunting resignation that echoed in the silence of the room. 4 months into my new life, I hesitated, my heart racing as I finally succumbed to the temptation of social media. Ethan's profile revealed a snapshot of him at a company event, his smile wide and inviting, yet beside him stood a woman I couldn't place, her presence a haunting mystery that sent chills down my spine. In a moment that seemed to hang in the air, David unveiled the news of the Tokyo expansion, his fingers trembling as he tagged Ethan, each proud father emoji pulsating with unspoken tension and anticipation. Lauren unveiled a series of haunting images from a family dinner, each one echoing the chilling sentiment, missing no one. The confirmation pierced through me, a sharp twist of emotion that caught me off guard, leaving a lingering ache in its wake. In the dim light of realization, a chilling truth emerged: Lauren had been right after all. My disappearance sent shockwaves through the still waters of the Coldwell family pond, yet the ripples were barely felt, as if the world had conspired to ignore my absence. In an unexpected twist, this validation unleashed a wave of freedom, shattering the chains that once bound me. I had shattered the chains of their perceptions, emerging from the shadows of their judgments, ready to carve my own destiny. 6 months had passed, each day a haunting reminder of what was lost, when at last, the envelope arrived. The finalized divorce papers lay before me, a stark testament to the end of a chapter one never wanted to close. Ethan, with a heavy heart, had affixed his signature, surrendering to the inevitable division of assets, a decision that felt like a silent capitulation to fate itself. Our fate hung in the balance as we navigated the treacherous waters of negotiation, each word exchanged through the cold, calculated hands of our lawyers. In the shadow of a tumultuous past, they stood at the precipice of finality. No alimony to bind them, no lingering ties to the life once shared. A clean severance of joint property marked the end of their shared journey, a decisive cut that promised a future unshackled by memories. As they turned away from each other, the weight of complete separation loomed, a haunting reminder of what once was and what could never be again. In the shadowy silence of the room, a single piece of paper lay ominously on the table, a brief note, the only thread connecting him to the outside world. Its presence loomed large, heavy with unspoken words and untold secrets, as if it held the power to unravel everything. Confusion swirled within me like a tempest, yet I find myself surrendering to the inevitable. No more battles will I wage against you. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting eerie shadows in the dim light of my bathroom, I faced my reflection with trembling hands. With each deliberate snip of the scissors, I severed the long strands that Ethan had adored, transforming my appearance into a striking bob that framed my face like a bold declaration. The air was thick with tension, as if the very act of change held the weight of 1,000 unspoken words. The woman who stared back was a haunting reflection, a blend of the known and the unknown. She appeared thinner, her features etched with faint lines that whispered of time's passage, yet her gaze held an unsettling clarity, piercing through the years like a beacon in the dark. As the 8th month dawned, a thrilling transformation unfolded. My design business surged to heights I had only dared to dream. The time had come to seek a sanctuary beyond the confines of my apartment, a small workspace that would cradle my burgeoning ambitions. In a bustling cooperative creative studio, I claimed my desk, a solitary island amid a sea of independent artists and daring entrepreneurs, each harboring their own dreams and ambitions. The air crackled with unspoken tension, as creativity hung like a storm cloud, ready to unleash its fury at any moment. After years of silence, a thrilling wave of recognition surged through me as I found myself surrounded by colleagues who not only valued my input but also dared to challenge my ideas, igniting a fierce exchange of intellect on equal ground. As the anniversary of my departure loomed ominously on the horizon, I found myself no longer compelled to scour social media for glimpses into the lives of the Caldwells. The air was thick with unspoken truths, and I could feel their presence haunting me from afar. They had faded into the shadows of my mind, transforming into mere echoes of a narrative I once inhabited, no longer vibrant figures in the unfolding drama of my existence. In the shadows, my new world unfurled, each moment thick with anticipation and the promise of the unknown. In a thrilling twist of fate, a branding project for a local artisan food company emerged from the shadows, capturing the attention and admiration of the region. The stakes were high, and the competition fierce, but this endeavor rose to the occasion, claiming its rightful place in the spotlight of recognition. In a twist of fate, my bold redesign of Grace's coffee shop captured the eye of a prominent lifestyle magazine, igniting a whirlwind of intrigue and anticipation. A single remark I uttered in the midst of a design workshop ignited a chain of events, culminating in an unexpected invitation to take the stage at a prestigious creative conference. A year had passed since Lauren's ill-fated jest, and in that time, I had shed the cloak of invisibility that had once shrouded me. In the shadows of my existence, I had painstakingly crafted a life, a fragile tapestry woven with threads of recognition and respect. Each moment was a battle, where my voice fought to rise above the cacophony, demanding to be heard, not silenced. My contributions, once mere whispers, now echoed with significance, yet the specter of dismissal loomed ever closer, threatening to unravel it all. The challenge had been faced, yet the tale was far from its conclusion. The email from Westwood Creative materialized precisely 52 weeks after the fateful barbecue that altered the course of destiny. The subject line appeared harmless, merely a call for a designer for a national campaign, yet the content surged through me like a lightning bolt, igniting a fire of anticipation and dread. Whispers of your work for Rainier Artisanal Foods have reached us, igniting a spark of intrigue that we cannot ignore. In the shadows of creativity, a campaign is taking shape for Sheffield Consumer Brands, and we find ourselves drawn to your aesthetic, a vision that could ignite this project into something extraordinary. A pivotal meeting awaits next week, should you choose to accept the invitation. In the shadows of corporate intrigue, Sheffield Consumer Brands emerged as a mere pawn in the grand game orchestrated by Caldwell Marketing Group, the empire ruled by none other than David himself. The coincidence hung in the air, a chilling whisper of fate that felt far too deliberate to be mere chance. I reached out to Grace, the one who had transformed into my confidant, my anchor in the storm that had raged within me for the past year. In the aftermath, she found herself grappling with a chilling thought: it could be entirely legitimate, a truth lurking in the shadows, waiting to ensnare her. I unveiled the intricate web of connections, each thread pulsating with unspoken tension. In a stunning turn of events, your Rainier campaign has captured the attention of not one, not two, but 3 prestigious industry publications, igniting a whirlwind of intrigue and anticipation. Yet, the timing looms like a shadow, heavy with doubt, as I reach the end. The question lingers in the air, heavy with unspoken truths. It's not about whether they know who you are, Grace declared, her voice steady yet charged with an undercurrent of tension. The looming question hangs in the air, shrouded in uncertainty. Is the project worth the perilous leap into the unknown, regardless of the consequences that may follow? In a moment fraught with anticipation, I reached out to Westwood, seeking the elusive answers that lingered just beyond my grasp. The project loomed large, a monumental task that involved the complete redesign of packaging for Sheffield's entire organic line. With the stakes raised, the promise of a long-term contract for ongoing brand management hung tantalizingly in the balance, a prize that could change everything. The budget they laid before me loomed like a dark cloud, a staggering figure that eclipsed everything I had ever managed since the dawn of my Seattle venture. After what felt like an eternity of 3 days steeped in uncertainty, I finally succumbed to the weight of my decision and accepted the initial meeting. Should this be a Caldwell orchestration, I yearned to confront it head-on, rather than be left in the shadows of uncertainty. And if it was indeed genuine, I refused to let the shadows of my past shackle the possibilities of my future. In the dimly lit room, the air thick with unspoken tension, Andrew, the enigmatic creative director of Westwood, wore a mask of indifference. As we sat across from each other, not a flicker of recognition crossed his face, leaving me to wonder if he was truly oblivious to the dark shadows of my past entwined with the Caldwells. The silence hung heavy, a palpable reminder of the secrets that lingered just beneath the surface. In the dimly lit room, we delved into the intricate web of design concepts, each idea hanging in the air like a whispered secret. The timeline loomed ominously, a ticking clock that threatened to unravel our plans. Expectations danced on the edge of uncertainty, while budget particulars loomed like shadows, casting doubt over our ambitions. Every word was laced with tension, a testament to the stakes at hand. As I probed deeper into the matter of client involvement, a chilling revelation emerged. He cryptically stated that only the Sheffield executives would cast their discerning eyes upon the pivotal milestones, leaving me to wonder what shadows lurked behind their decisions. With a resolute heart, I embraced the project, meticulously outlining the boundaries that would govern our communication and the intricate web of approval processes that lay ahead. For 3 long weeks, the world spun on, seemingly untouched by the shadows lurking just beyond the light. Whispers of approval echoed through the room as my preliminary designs emerged from the shadows, igniting a spark of hope and anticipation. The air crackled with tension, each word of praise a tantalizing promise of what could come next. The timeline hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of uncertainty. Not a single Coldwell name graced the pages of any correspondence, leaving an unsettling silence that echoed through the air. And then the moment arrived. The announcement shattered the silence, sending a ripple of tension through the air. In a breathtaking moment at the annual Marketing Innovation Gala, Sheffield Consumer Brands is set to take the stage, ready to unveil their rebranded organic line. The air crackles with anticipation as the audience awaits this pivotal presentation, a turning point that could redefine the industry. As the lead designer, my presence was not just welcomed, it was imperative, a silent command echoing through the corridors of creativity. The gala loomed on the horizon, a pivotal moment in the industry, the very chance my resurrecting career had been desperately waiting for. It was precisely the kind of event that the Coldwells would never dare to overlook. David viewed these networking evenings as the lifeline that could either uphold or shatter the family's business legacy, teetering on the edge of prominence and obscurity. Ethan had always been bound by an unyielding loyalty to follow his lead, a shadow in the wake of a figure cloaked in mystery and power. In the dim light of the therapy room, my therapist leaned in, their voice barely above a whisper, "You have 3 options." The weight of those words hung in the air, thick with tension, as I felt the gravity of the choices before me. What lay ahead was uncertain, and the stakes had never felt higher. To turn away now could seal your fate, casting a shadow over your future and stifling the very essence of your professional ascent. Face the looming choice: to evade the Coldwells, a path fraught with tension and the bitter taste of inevitable failure, or to confront them head-on, ready to dictate the terms of your encounter. The stakes are high, and the air crackles with uncertainty. What choice will you make in the face of uncertainty? I dared to ask. Dr. Parker's lips curled into a faint, enigmatic smile, hinting at secrets untold and mysteries lurking just beneath the surface. My curiosity is ignited by the choices of Chloe today, a stark contrast to the echoes of her past self from a year ago. What secrets does she hold now? What paths will she tread? The suspense of her transformation hangs in the air, waiting to unfold. The question hung in the air like a thick fog as I stepped out of her office, its weight pressing down on me with an unsettling urgency. In the shadows of last year, Chloe stood at a crossroads, torn between retreating into the safety of solitude or stepping into the fray as Ethan's reluctant companion. The air crackled with tension, each moment fraught with the sting of Lauren's sharp remarks and the weight of Victoria's scrutinizing gaze, leaving her heart racing with dread. Yet I had transformed into someone unrecognizable, a shadow of my former self, haunted by the echoes of who I once was. As dawn broke, I felt an unsettling urgency coursing through me. With trembling fingers, I composed an email, the weight of unspoken words pressing heavily on my chest. Andrew's voice echoed in my mind, a chilling confirmation of my attendance that sent shivers down my spine. With a heart pounding in anticipation, I secured an appointment with a personal stylist, handpicked by Emily herself. I reserved a significant portion of the Sheffield advance payment, knowing that this outfit would be more than mere fabric. It would be my armor, my bold declaration to the world. The evening of the gala descended, shrouded in an unsettling calm that hinted at the storm brewing beneath the surface. I gazed into the depths of the hotel room mirror, my reflection staring back at me with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. The woman staring back was a vision in a tailored jumpsuit of deep emerald, a striking figure amidst a sea of monotonous black dresses. Her presence was both sophisticated and utterly distinctive, a bold statement that sent ripples of intrigue through the crowd. My bobbed hair, once a mere shade of brown, now glimmered with subtle caramel highlights, casting an enchanting glow that hinted at secrets untold. The designer shoes, my sole indulgence in a world of restraint, elevated me not just in stature but in spirit, adding 3 inches of audacity to my very being. Yet, it was the haunting expression in my eyes that truly held the power to transform everything. With a heart pounding like a war drum, there was no room for anxiety, no space for apologies, only a fierce, unwavering resolve to face the unknown that the night had in store. The venue loomed before us, a majestic yet haunting relic of the past, its restored facade whispering secrets of forgotten performances and untold stories, nestled in the heart of the bustling downtown. The grand lobby, once ordinary, now pulsated with an enigmatic allure, as shadows danced across the walls, and the carefully placed floral arrangements whispered secrets of elegance and intrigue. I approached the registration desk, my heart racing as I accepted the name badge that would define my presence here. The signature cocktail, glimmering with an enticing allure, was offered by the mysterious figures circulating around me, each sip promising secrets yet to be unveiled. "Hold on, staff." Just as the liquid warmth of the drink began to settle in my veins, Andrew materialized at my side, his presence commanding as he ushered me into the orbit of a group of powerful industry executives, their eyes glinting with unspoken agendas. Their business cards vanished into my clutch, swallowed by the shadows as we delved into the tantalizing world of emerging design trends and the elusive nature of market demographics. As I stood there, words flowed from my lips with an unsettling confidence, each syllable laced with an unspoken power that hung in the air, thick with tension. My opinions were met with a chorus of thoughtful nods, a stark contrast to the polite dismissals I had braced myself for. 40 minutes into the event, as I engaged in a riveting conversation with a magazine editor, an unsettling shift in the room's energy sent a chill down my spine. The air thickened with an unspoken tension, a palpable shift that sent a shiver down my spine. I could feel their presence, the Caldwells, looming just beyond the threshold, their arrival heralded by an unsettling silence that wrapped around me like a shroud. In an instant, the air was pierced by David's thunderous laughter, a sound that echoed with undeniable certainty. With unwavering resolve, I held my ground, passionately concluding my discourse on the intricate web of consumer psychology. But as the tension in the room thickened, I felt an irresistible pull toward the bar, a sanctuary amidst the swirling chaos. As I lingered in anticipation for the sparkling water, my eyes darted across the room, searching for any hint of movement, any whisper of danger lurking in the shadows. David and Victoria loomed near the entrance, their presence magnetic, as a throng of admirers swirled around them, captivated and eager for a glimpse of the enigmatic couple. Lauren lingered in the shadows, her presence a haunting whisper in the air, elusive and shrouded in mystery. And then, through the haze of the crowd, I caught sight of Ethan, a solitary figure lingering at the edge of his parents' world. He appeared frilier than I recalled, a shadow of his former self, his impeccable attire unable to mask the unsettling sense of loss that clung to him like a shroud. In that moment, the world around us faded into a blur, and our gazes locked with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. His eyes widened in disbelief, a palpable tension hanging in the air as his lips parted ever so slightly, as if words were poised on the brink of escape, despite the chasm that lay between us. I locked eyes with him, an unyielding stare that betrayed no emotion, neither a smile nor a frown. Then, with a calculated grace, I shifted my focus to the bartender, my voice steady as I thanked him for the drink that had just arrived, the tension hanging thick in the air. The first encounter arrived mere moments later, shrouded in an air of anticipation and uncertainty. As I pored over the event program, a shadow loomed closer. David was approaching, his presence sending a shiver down my spine. "Chloe," he uttered, his voice a chilling void, devoid of warmth yet laced with an unspoken tension that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break. A revelation that took my breath away. "David," I nodded, locking my eyes with his, a silent storm brewing between us. In the shadows of Sheffield's Organic, I stand as the lead designer, orchestrating a symphony of creativity and innovation that could change everything. "Transform." He blinked, a flicker of uncertainty crossing his face as he grappled with the unsettling tranquility I exuded. It struck me like a bolt from the blue. I had failed to see the threads weaving through the shadows, binding everything together in a tapestry of fate. The realization hung heavy in the air, a chilling whisper echoing in the recesses of my mind. In a twist of fate, the creative force behind their vision has been entrusted to the enigmatic hands of Westwood. Indeed, I find myself entwined with Andrew's team, navigating the shadows of uncertainty. The initial whispers from the market have been nothing short of electrifying. With a voice steady and unwavering, I addressed the executive, each word dripping with confidence and authority, as if the very fate of the company hung in the balance. Understanding dawns like a shadow creeping across the room, heavy with unspoken truths. His gaze pierced through me, as if he were weighing the transformation that a single year had wrought. Your work has transformed into something unrecognizable since you departed, shrouded in shadows and whispers of what once was. Not evolved, I replied, a small smile playing on my lips, concealing the storm brewing beneath the surface. Reclaim the path that once was, the true course that beckons from the shadows. David's body tensed, a storm of unease brewing within him. Victoria lurks in the shadows, her presence felt but unseen, a whisper of danger hanging in the air. I'm certain she would have a message to deliver, a greeting that lingers in the air, waiting for the right moment to break the silence. With a measured breath, I responded, my words hanging in the air like a fragile thread, neither weaving hope nor unraveling doubt about the looming possibility. As David slipped into the shadows, likely to unveil the shocking truth to the family, I melded back into the Westwood team, my heart racing as I navigated their tense discussion about the impending presentation logistics. From the shadows of the room, I caught a glimpse of the tension unfolding. David's words hung in the air like a storm cloud, and for a fleeting moment, Victoria's carefully crafted facade cracked, her gaze darting through the throng, searching for me amidst the chaos. As the clock ticked ominously towards the middle of the evening, the Sheffield presentation loomed on the horizon, shrouded in an air of anticipation and uncertainty. As the clock ticked down, Andrew led me through the shadows toward the staging area, each step heavy with anticipation and unspoken tension. We were on the brink of our destination when Lauren suddenly emerged before us, her face a tumultuous blend of shock and cunning, as if she held the very fate of our journey in her hands. Chloe, it seems there's a shadow lurking over this project, and your name has emerged from the darkness. Why was your involvement kept a secret? Her tone dripped with accusation, weaving a web of blame that ensnared me in its shadows, leaving me to wonder how I had become the architect of this oversight. With a heavy heart, I conceded to Lauren's unyielding gaze. In the shadows of creativity, I find myself entwined with Westwood Creative. Andrew, it's Lauren Caldwell, David's daughter. The weight of this revelation hangs in the air, thick with unspoken tension and the echoes of a past that refuses to fade. With a slow, deliberate motion, Andrew extended his hand, the air thick with anticipation and unspoken tension. Ms. Caldwell, the pleasure is all mine, though I sense an undercurrent of tension in the air. Chloe has proven to be an extraordinary force, captivating everyone with her remarkable talents and unwavering dedication. Are you familiar with her haunting creations? Lauren's smile faltered, a flicker of tension dancing across her face. We were bound by blood, intertwined in a web of shared history, but now the ties that once held us together are fraying, unraveling into the shadows of what once was. How nice, Andrew replied, his voice laced with an unsettling ambiguity. We beg your pardon. The time has come to brace ourselves for the impending presentation, a moment that could change everything. We must gather our thoughts, sharpen our arguments, and ready ourselves for the spotlight that awaits. The stakes are high, and every detail matters. Are we truly prepared for what lies ahead? As we turned to leave, Andrew shot me a look filled with unspoken questions, his eyes searching for answers that hung heavy in the air. Yet, he chose to honor the silence, refraining from probing into the depths of my turmoil. Little did he realize the depths of my gratitude for his unwavering professionalism, a silent admiration that simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to erupt. The presentation unfolded like a fleeting shadow, each moment slipping away into a haze of intensity and anticipation. In a charged atmosphere, I unveiled the intricate tapestry of design philosophy, weaving together the threads of consumer connection. With each revelation of the rebranding strategy's key elements, tension hung in the air, and as questions arose, I responded with an unwavering composure that held the audience captive. The audience erupted in a fervor of enthusiasm, their applause crashing like thunder, echoing through the air in spontaneous waves that seemed to shake the very foundations of the venue. From my vantage point on stage, I could feel the weight of the moment as I locked eyes with the Caldwell family, huddled together in the front row, their presence both a comfort and a foreboding shadow looming over the unfolding drama. Victoria's face was a mask of calm, concealing the tempest of emotions swirling beneath the surface. David's eyes flickered with intensity as he absorbed the staggering metrics, each nod a silent acknowledgement of the gravity of the moment. Lauren leaned in, her voice barely a breath, a secret hanging in the air between them. The woman beside her turned, eyes wide with anticipation, but Lauren's expression remained a mask, concealing the storm of thoughts swirling beneath the surface. Ethan's gaze pierced through the air, a palpable tension hanging between us as his eyes locked onto mine, unwavering and filled with an intensity that sent shivers down my spine. As the final words of the presentation hung in the air, a wave of eager attendees surged toward me, their eyes alight with curiosity and admiration, each one desperate to unravel the mysteries I had just unveiled. In the world of commerce, where fortunes are made and lost in the blink of an eye, every decision carries the weight of destiny. The stakes are high, and the tension palpable, as ambitious minds clash in a relentless pursuit of success. Will they rise to greatness or fall into the abyss of failure? The clock is ticking, and the game has only just begun. In the dim light of the room, cards slipped from hand to hand, each one a gateway to untold possibilities. Whispers of potential opportunities hung in the air like a thick fog, as connections sparked and flickered, igniting the tension that crackled between them. The moment I received that professional validation, a surge of triumph coursed through me, a testament to my relentless pursuit of excellence. It was a bittersweet victory, a vindication that echoed in the depths of my soul, a reward for the battles fought in silence. As the night deepened, the thrumming energy of the crowd began to wane, each individual slipping away like shadows into the darkness, drawn inexorably toward the tantalizing promise of the evening's dinner. As I meticulously assembled my presentation materials, a chill ran down my spine when Ethan finally emerged from the shadows, standing before me, utterly alone. The air crackled with unspoken tension, each word hanging heavy between them, a fragile thread in the silence that followed. With a heart pounding in my chest, I uttered a quiet yet weighty thank you. Little did I know, you were lurking in the shadows of Seattle. It was no accident, every move was calculated, every glance deliberate. The air crackled with tension, and the truth loomed like a shadow, waiting to be unveiled. He nodded, a heavy weight settling in his chest as he embraced the undeniable truth that loomed before him. Your presentation left an indelible mark, a haunting echo that lingers in the air, captivating all who bore witness to its brilliance. From the very beginning, your talent shone like a beacon in the darkness, a promise of greatness that lingered in the air, waiting to be unleashed. In this very moment, Ethan's gaze fell, heavy with unspoken thoughts, before it shot back up, piercing and unyielding, as if daring the world to challenge him. In the shadows of my mind, I replay the haunting echoes of that fateful moment, the weight of Lauren's joke lingering like a specter. Every detail, every fleeting glance before it all unraveled, haunts me relentlessly. I found myself lost in confusion at first, but as the shadows of this past year unfolded, it became a harrowing journey of revelation. He halted, his mind racing as he grappled with the elusive words that hung in the air like a storm waiting to break, illuminating the shadows of uncertainty. A surge of relief washed over me as I spoke those words, each syllable laced with sincerity, a truth that hung in the air like a fragile thread, ready to snap at any moment. The words lingered in the air, once yearned for with an intensity that could ignite the night, now arriving like a ghost from the past, too late to change the course of fate. A chilling emptiness enveloped me. There was no sense of victory in his sorrow, no dark satisfaction in the shadows of his solitude. A quiet conviction surged within me, a whisper of fate that I had chosen wisely, yet the shadows of doubt loomed just beyond the edges of my mind. I must join my team for dinner, I declared, my voice a chilling whisper that hung in the air, neither harsh nor reassuring. Will you dare to step into the shadows of tomorrow's workshop? Indeed. In a moment that could change everything, I stand poised to unveil the digital integration segment. He nodded once more, a silent agreement hanging in the air, thick with unspoken tension. What if, just maybe, we could share a cup of coffee afterward? The air thick with unspoken words, the tension crackling between us, a moment suspended in time, waiting to unfold. Only to converse. I pondered his request, navigating the tumultuous terrain of my own emotions. With a heavy heart, I relented, allowing just 30 fleeting minutes to slip through my fingers. In a world where alliances are fragile and trust hangs by a thread, the concept of professional courtesy looms large, a silent promise that can either bind or shatter destinies. What lies beneath this seemingly simple gesture? A web of unspoken rules and hidden agendas, waiting to unravel at the slightest provocation. Will it be honored, or will it ignite a chain of events that no one can foresee? The air thickens with tension, as the stakes rise higher than ever before. In the midst of chaos, a wave of relief washed over, a fleeting moment that felt like a lifeline in the storm. It was as if the weight of the world had been lifted, leaving behind a fragile hope that shimmered in the shadows. A shadow flickered across his face, a fleeting glimpse of something ominous lurking just beyond the light. My deepest gratitude. Just as I was about to step away, Victoria emerged at Ethan's side, her smile a carefully crafted mask, concealing the storm brewing beneath the surface. "Chloe, my dear, what a breathtaking sight it is to witness your remarkable ascent." Her words hung in the air, each syllable a carefully crafted weapon, poised to strike at the heart of the moment. Her voice quivered, a haunting echo of the turmoil brewing within her. "Victoria," I conceded, the weight of her name hanging in the air like a storm cloud ready to unleash its fury. "I trust this message finds you in good spirits, amidst the shadows of uncertainty that life often casts. We've all missed you at family gatherings," she continued, her voice smooth yet laced with an unsettling tension, the practiced lie slipping effortlessly from her lips like a shadow in the night. "In a world where desserts come and go, your strawberry shortcake stands alone, a masterpiece of flavor and texture that captivates the senses. Each bite is a revelation, a sweet escape that lingers in the air, leaving all who taste it yearning for more. It is not just a dessert, it is an experience, a moment suspended in time, where every layer tells a story of passion and perfection. No one, I dare say, can replicate the magic you create with those strawberries and cream." The old Chloe, once so willing to embrace the hollow gestures of reconciliation, would have grasped this olive branch, even knowing the deceit that lay beneath its surface. The new Chloe stood resolute, unwavering in the face of the storm brewing around her. "How intriguing," I responded, a hint of curiosity lacing my voice. In the shadows of the pantry, my humble shortcake lay forgotten, overshadowed by the decadent allure of Lauren's tiramisu, which basked in the spotlight at the last gathering. The tension hung thick in the air, a silent battle of desserts, each vying for the adoration of the crowd. Victoria's smile wavered for a fleeting moment, a crack in her facade, before she summoned the strength to restore it. For 7 long years, a web of simple misunderstandings ensnared us, and I found myself nodding in agreement, my voice a mask of calm amidst the brewing storm. How fortunate it is that I now find myself in realms where the shadows of misunderstanding seldom dare to tread. Just as Victoria opened her mouth to speak, the event coordinator's voice cut through the air, announcing the dinner seating with an urgency that sent a ripple of anticipation through the crowd. With a decisive nod, I extricated myself from the conversation, my heart racing as I made my way to the Westwood team, their table looming across the room like a distant fortress, starkly contrasting the presence of the Caldwells nearby. The remainder of the evening unfolded in a tense silence, each moment thick with unspoken words. Yet, I could feel Ethan's gaze piercing through the shadows, his eyes lingering on me from a distance, igniting a fire of uncertainty within my chest. As the final notes of the event faded into silence, I felt the weight of the team's invitation for after-party drinks pressing against me like a heavy shroud. I turned them down, my heart racing at the thought of the vibrant chaos that awaited. Instead, I chose the solitude of my hotel room, a sanctuary where I could confront the shadows of the night alone, each step echoing with the promise of secrets yet to unfold. In the hushed solitude of my room, I cast aside my designer shoes, the soft thud echoing in the stillness, and approached the window. There, the city sprawled. Beneath me, a shimmering expanse of secrets and shadows, beckoning with its allure. The moment I had both feared and anticipated for what felt like an eternity had finally arrived, and as it slipped away, I found myself not diminished but emboldened. I stood before the Caldwells, not as a mere outsider seeking their approval, but as a formidable force, a successful professional forged in the fires of ambition and determination. Lauren's haunting challenge echoed in my mind: "If you vanished tomorrow, would anyone even care?" It ignited not just my physical departure, but a profound transformation that would alter everything I thought I knew. In a twist of fate, the moment I vanished from their reality, I emerged as a beacon in my own, casting shadows of intrigue and revelation that no one could ignore. The morning after the gala broke with an unanticipated brilliance, sunlight piercing through the hotel room curtains like a herald of fate. I steeled myself for the day's workshop, each movement deliberate, as I chose an outfit that balanced professionalism with comfort. My heart raced as I pored over my presentation notes, the aroma of room service coffee swirling around me, a bittersweet reminder of the night before and the weight of what lay ahead. In the dimly lit conference center of the hotel, the Sheffield marketing workshop unfolded, a stark contrast to the opulent gala that had dazzled the night before. Tension hung in the air, as whispers of ambition and rivalry echoed through the room, each participant poised on the edge of revelation. As I meticulously arranged my materials at the presenter's table, my gaze was drawn to David, locked in a fervent exchange with Andrew by the refreshment station, their expressions a mix of urgency and intrigue. What seemed like a routine exchange masked an undercurrent of unspoken tension, a fragile calm before the storm that loomed just out of sight. At times, David would subtly nod or make a fleeting gesture toward the product displays, as if they held secrets waiting to be uncovered. One by one, the attendees slipped into the dimly lit room, their whispers mingling with the aroma of pastries and the rich scent of coffee. Tension hung in the air as they navigated the sea of unfamiliar faces, each searching for a place to settle, unaware of the secrets that would soon unfold. As I meticulously scrutinized my slide deck for the last time, the door creaked open, and Lauren stepped in. Her eyes swept the room with an air of deliberate nonchalance, but when they finally locked onto mine, a palpable tension filled the air. With a heartbeat echoing in her ears, she stepped forward, her coffee cup gripped with a desperation that hinted at the storm brewing within her. "Good morning," she uttered, her voice a carefully crafted veil, concealing the tempest of emotions swirling beneath the surface. "Andrew's praise for your work echoes with a weight that cannot be ignored. Andrew is a masterful creative director," I declared with conviction. "The Westwood team has risen to the occasion, their performance nothing short of extraordinary." Lauren shifted her weight, a subtle movement that hinted at the tension coiling within her. The air thickened, charged with unspoken words and the weight of anticipation. What lay ahead was uncertain, but the moment crackled with an electric promise of revelation. "Little did I know, you had woven your life into the very fabric of Seattle." He stands on the precipice of revelation, captivated by the unfolding path before him. The hidden meaning struck me like a lightning bolt, illuminating the shadows of the moment. Should Sheffield choose to align itself with Caldwell as a direct marketing client, the very essence of my work hangs in the balance, teetering on the edge of oblivion or being claimed by their in-house team, shrouded in shadows of uncertainty. The old insecurity flared to life, a ghost from the shadows, before I snuffed it out with a fierce resolve. That decision lay squarely in David's hands. As the shadowy figure behind Sheffield's parent company, I stated with a calm that belied the tension in the air. Yet, within the shadows of Westwood's empire lies a labyrinth of contractual provisions, each one meticulously crafted to dictate the very essence of creative attribution. The stakes are high, and the consequences of deviation loom ominously on the horizon. In a world where creativity hangs by a thread, Andrew stands as a vigilant guardian, fiercely devoted to shielding the masterpieces crafted by his designer. Every stroke, every detail, is a treasure he vows to protect at all costs. Lauren's expression tightened, a barely noticeable shift that hinted at the storm brewing beneath her calm facade. Just as the tension in the air thickened, the workshop facilitator's voice sliced through the silence, commanding everyone to take their seats. Our conversation concluded with a chilling exchange of professional nods, starkly contrasting the vibrant chaos of our previous encounter filled with hot dogs and biting humor. As the dawn broke, the morning sessions unfolded with an air of anticipation, each presentation a carefully crafted revelation of market analysis and the intricate tapestry of consumer demographics, leaving the audience on the edge of their seats, eager for the next twist in the tale. As the clock ticked ominously towards the lunch break, my segment on digital integration strategies loomed ahead, a pivotal moment fraught with anticipation and uncertainty. As I stepped up to the podium, a chill ran down my spine. There he was, Ethan, slipping into the shadows at the back of the room, his presence a calculated intrusion, perfectly timed for the moment I was about to reveal everything. With a commanding presence, I unveiled my content, revealing the intricate dance of packaging designs that wove augmented reality features into their very fabric, forging an unbreakable link to the vast digital realm beyond. The question period that followed erupted with fervor, as participants leaned in, their eyes alight with curiosity, igniting a tempest of thoughtful discourse that crackled in the air. As David's piercing gaze locked onto mine, he inquired about the elusive implementation timelines. With a steady breath, I revealed the carefully crafted benchmarks, each one a pact forged with the Sheffield team, shrouded in anticipation and the weight of expectation. As the crowd dispersed for lunch, Ethan's determined stride was abruptly halted by a Sheffield executive, their eyes wide with urgency, demanding answers that could change everything. I seized the chance to escape into the night, craving the crisp air that promised a fleeting reprieve from the suffocating grasp of Caldwell's relentless hold. In the shadowy embrace of the hotel's courtyard garden, a deceptive calm lingered, concealing secrets that whispered through the leaves. As I sank into the cold embrace of the bench, a figure emerged from the shadows of the pathway, Victoria, her presence both unexpected and electrifying. Her expression hinted at a deeper truth, one that whispered of fate's hand guiding our paths to this very moment. "Your timing for escapes has always been impeccable," she remarked, her voice laced with an unsettling calm as she settled beside me, uninvited, her fingers gliding over her skirt with a deliberate grace. "I prefer to call it a moment of clarity, a desperate need for distance," I replied, my voice barely above a whisper, as the tension hung thick in the air. Victoria's gaze pierced through me, charged wit.